Hello, everyone, and welcome. Eagles insider Dave Spadaro along with the Hall of Famer Brian Westbrook. We are taking a look at the Eagles in the trenches. 27-21 loss to Tampa Bay on Sunday, a game that, look, from the very beginning, literally, the Eagles were in a hole.
Yeah.
Deshaun Jackson, 75 yards down the field, Brian. It really set the tone for the struggles the defense had.
Yeah, when you talk about the first play of the game, the guy that we know what Deshaun Jackson is all about, going deep, running that post route, running that go route, and you give up that big play. That just changes everything. That does set the tone for your defense as well as your offense. Now, as a defensive coordinator, you can't be as aggressive. You can't send the blitzes. You can't leave your cornerbacks exposed one-on-one. But offensively, it changes things as well. But when you talk about the defense, they backing off. Now, after the big play, you back off, you back off, you back off. And that plays right into Ryan Fitzpatrick's hands. You're trying to elude the rush. They want to get the ball out early. Yeah, that's great because you have free access, open access on the outside. Terrible situation.
And for Fitzmagic, the first of 4 touchdown passes on the day, he spread it around liberally to Deshaun Jackson, to O.J. Howard, the tight end, who had a 75-yard catch and run. Big Mike Evans, 10 catches, a touchdown. Chris Godwin, a touchdown as well. The formula here, Brian, look, it seems very simple but very difficult to execute. Get the football out of the quarterback's hands quickly to the wide receivers. We saw Aaron Rodgers do it. We've seen Eli Manning do it. We saw Tom Brady do it in the Super Bowl. And now we see Ryan Fitzpatrick do it.
Well, to my point that I was making earlier, the hard part for the defense is you want to get the ball out early, which that's successful for the offense is good. But defensively, if they're getting the ball out early, that means I want to get up and jam the guys at the line. Unfortunately, you have guys on the other side, Mike Evans, Deshaun Jackson, even O.J. Howard that can beat you one-on-one and get over top. Now that changes your defensive aspect. And so those two things don't go together. Giving free access on the outside with the cornerbacks and pressuring the quarterback who wants to get the ball out early, it doesn't breed for success defensively.
I don't want to paint this to be a picture that the defense got torched because despite 402 yards and 4 touchdown passes, there were a lot of good, really good moments from the defense.
It was, a couple turnovers.
The defense kept the Eagles in the game early.
That's right.
After that first play. A meltdown late in the first half, no question. Another touchdown early in the third quarter. And then the defense held again as the Eagles came back to it. And then late in the game, couldn't get off the field that last time. And what did the Bucs do? They went right at Jalen Mills two times in a row.
Well, Jalen Mills had a tough day. He had a long day. When you think about it, you get beat early on, then you give up the shorter passes. You're expecting a defensive line to be able to get to the quarterback. Our defensive line has done a great job of affecting quarterbacks. Yesterday, they didn't affect Ryan Fitzpatrick in the same way, but they did get off the field. They were able to get off the field. Unfortunately, in some of those situations, they're giving up the big play, then getting off the field and allowing for a field change. And that's not what you want to have offensively.
So in this world of adjustments, Jim Schwartz is looking at this and he's saying, we've got Andrew Luck coming to town on Sunday. Quick decision maker, good arm, gets it out of his hands, got some good receivers. What kind of adjustments does Jim make?
Well, I think you pressure the quarterback. Make Luck hurt you early. That's your goal. You pressure the wide receivers. You pressure Andrew Luck early on in the game. You're not expecting them to run the ball very much, and if you do that, I think you'll have some success.
Up front, we expected a lot more pressure, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
I thought it was more Fitzpatrick getting rid of the football than it was the Eagles not getting home.
Well, it was. He was getting rid of the football early on. Yeah, he's getting rid of the ball.
Veteran making great moves.
You expect the veteran to do that. That's why you need to have your DBs and your defensive line in concert with each other, because when that happens, now you're pressing the receivers. That's the big thing for me.
So we hear the fans, and we hear Jalen Mills, and we hear put Sidney Jones in and put Avonte Maddox in the slot. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I wouldn't change my personnel this early in the season just for one bad game. Again, Deshaun Jackson is not he's not a bad receiver. He's a good receiver, in fact. Speed, he's been doing the same thing, beating people off the line of scrimmage, running past people his entire career. Mike Evans is one of the better receivers in the league. So we ran up against a team that has some weapons at the tight end position, at the wide receiver position, 2 guys at the wide receiver position, and a quarterback that's willing to go play however he wants because he may not have a spot in a couple weeks. So it was just a tough test for us. I think you don't make the changes right away. What you do as a defensive coordinator, you say, all right, guys, let's look at the tape. Let's see what we did wrong. This is where the help is supposed to be. Play to your help, play to your coverages and things like that. Adjust. And if they continue to make the mistakes, then we make a decision, but not after the first game.
And I thought the defense gave the offense a couple of opportunities, 3 in fact, to really turn it around. I thought 2 takeaways would help. And then I remember early in the game, Fletcher Cox barrels through with a big quarterback sack,
Huge hit.
having a terrific start to the season. I thought that might spark things. So Fletch doing his part.
Fletcher continues to be that guy. He affects the game in the pass game because he's getting after the quarterback. He also affects the game in the run game because he does not allow guys to run past him. If you want a single Fletcher Cox, he will beat that single block every single time. He's just that good of a player. He needs a little bit of more help. We need the guys, Brandon Graham, Chris Long, everybody else to contribute just a little bit more.
The defense, so great in the Week 1 win against the Atlanta Falcons. Had a letdown, a big play letdown on Sunday in Tampa Bay. That's our look at the Eagles in the trenches. For Brian Westbrook, I'm Dave Spadaro. Thanks so much for joining us.